let's get you going with creating a report. Once you've logged in to Looker Studio and you've had a look around, you'll see that there's a couple of options to get going with a report. So you can start with a blank report or one of the templates that provided by Looker. We're going to start today with just a blank report. So on blank report, and it will immediately prompt you to connect to a data source. So I have a couple of options with data sources here, whether it be one of those that are available to you, and all of the Google related connectors are very easy to log into and connect into, or you can use a data source of your own. We're going to be using one of these data sources that are here. We're going to look at the sample AdWord data today, and we're going to build a campaign report. So select your data and click Add. Once that's added, you will go into your report. So this is a blank report. Now you can just start by formatting your report the way you want it to. So up here, you can name your report. We're just going to call this report campaigns for 2025. Now, from here, you can select either a freeform layout. You can just format the page the way you like, or a responsive layout, which Google will help you build the layout of the report. The other option here is the theme and layouts. So you click on this option here. There are some pre-made themes that you can select from. They go through a number of different colors and formatting that will be consistent throughout your report. So this is a good option too. Or you can extract your own theme. Today, we're just going to go with responsive layout. It's a simple and intuitive way to start a report, and it's a good, easy way to ease into writing a report. So click on responsive layout, and from here, it will provide some default options in terms of what the layout looks at. So we've got our data range, the report title, and the charts that we have available. Again, we can just name our report by clicking on the report. We're going to call this Summer Campaigns. Since we've named it, we can see the data is available to us on the right-hand column here. So the data is laid out here. Everything in the green are your dimensions, and everything in the blue are your metrics. So data is on the right-hand side. We can also select through properties and filter bar, but we're going to just get going with data. So we're going to add a chart by clicking on Add Chart here. This option also is available up here, but we'll just click from here as it makes it easy for us. And all the chart types are listed here. We're going to start with a table, and it's going to pre-populate some fields and metrics for us here. We can update this the way we'd like to see it. So click on the table, we'll see the data. We're going to click into the properties of the table and then into setup. Now we can see that data source is there and our campaign is there. The metric is the ID. We're going to change that to some campaign metrics. So I'm going to look at impressions by clicking on the option and selecting impressions through a search bar up the top. And you can see by clicking on that here, we've replaced impressions from the campaign ID. Now we want to look at another metric, so to look at clicks. Again, we click on adding a field and then we search clicks and we just add our clicks in here. And we'll add one more metric, which is click-through rate. So just again, search for that option in there. We have campaigns by impressions, clicks, and click-through rates. And this isn't formatted exactly the way we'd like to see it. We want to make some adjustments to it. I like to remove the numbering on the left-hand side to give me more space in the table. So I'm going into Style, and I'm scrolling down to row numbers and turning that off. And we also can see all of that data is kind of squished up. We can go over to the table and we can stretch it out. Now, if we want to once we've stretched it out, if we want to adjust the columns so that the columns are fitting nicely, all of the data that we have in there, we can right click and resize the columns to fit data or distribute evenly, whichever you prefer. So that's now we've got our columns, our dimensions and our metrics in columns in a table. If we want to see only a select number of campaigns, we can now add a filter. So go down into the setup and we go select filter. We haven't got a filter yet, so we're going to create one. And we're going to call this campaigns for summer. And we want to include campaigns that equal to, and this will provide options for the campaigns that are available in that dimension. And we're going to select holiday, or another option, we select the campaign that is equal to, and we're going to scroll down and select biking. Save that. And now this table will only show us campaigns that are for our summer catalog of biking and holiday. Now, if we want to also sort this data in a specific way, we can do that by scrolling down into the setup and going to the sort function. Here it is being sorted by impressions by descending order. If we want to change that to perhaps click-through rate, we again search for that option, select click-through rate, and it will show the data by click-through rate. We can also navigate this by sorting through impressions. Once the table is formatted, we can also sort by clicking on each of the metrics to sort the way we want, if we want to toggle through that way. One other amendment I make to the data range is it's selected now to an auto date range. I like to look at it by this month to date. If we're looking at monthly reporting, so you can pre-populate that to month to date, which will show you that month, and you can see that the data there will only show you this month that is selected in this date option. So that's how we get started with building a report. We can go through each of the graphs and how we would add different graphs in the next series.